Have you ever thought about how life can go by and you're still in the same place without changing a thing? Imagine 5 years from now, you in the same routine, with the same problems, feeling that time has slipped through your hands. Scary, right? But what if I told you that you could disappear off the radar for a while, start again from scratch, and come back as a completely different person? Yes, it's possible. And today, I'm going to show you 5 powerful lessons that will help you reset your life. But first, if it's your first time here, I need to tell you that this video only reached you because someone liked it and subscribed to the channel. Do the same so that YouTube can deliver this content to more people. Let's get started. Do you know what happens when you tell everyone all your plans and dreams? People aren't always going to support you. In fact, sometimes they can end up discouraging you without even realizing it. This is something scientists call the bucket of crabs effect. It goes like this. Imagine a bucket full of crabs. When one of them tries to get out, the others pull it back in. Not because they're evil, but because that's how they work together. It's the same with people. When you try to do something different, something big, sometimes those around you may want to pull you back in, even without realizing it. This happens because our brains like to feel equal to others. We seek the approval of those around us, and this can get in the way of our desire to pursue big goals. For example, when you tell someone about your plans and they say, "Wow, that's amazing, you're already a success," you feel good, don't you? It's as if you've already achieved everything, and this makes your brain release dopamine, that substance that gives you a feeling of happiness. But there's a problem. This anticipated pleasure can make you lose focus and the energy to actually achieve what you want. That's why sometimes it's best to keep quiet, work in silence, and surprise people with the result afterwards. That way, you protect your motivation and avoid being pulled back into the bucket. The first thing you'll do in this video I'm going to suggest is to share your goals with someone very close to you. When you talk to someone you trust, something called accountability happens. This means that you create an internal obligation that acts as a kind of commitment to yourself. This attitude can motivate you a lot because you feel you have to fulfill what you've promised. But beware, there is a crucial difference here. Sharing your goals with the right people is essential. Close people who really support you will motivate you. However, there are other people who won't be there to help you. Often they don't want to see you better than them. This is a difficult but common truth. Do you know the story of Batman? After losing his parents, he isolated himself completely. He went to Asia, crossed the Himalayas, and stayed in the shadows, developing his martial arts skills. He came back, transformed. This strategic isolation gave him a superpower that I consider essential, the ability to follow his plans, not his moods. Why? Because deep down, our brain is not our friend. It is programmed to seek comfort, not progress. This behavior has deep roots in human history. As Homo sapiens, we evolved over 300 million years in extremely dangerous environments. Back then, being judged or rejected by someone meant something serious, perhaps even losing the chance to pass on your genes. That's why the pain of rejection still has such a physical and emotional impact today. Even so, our brains continue to function as if we were in constant danger, seeking comfort and avoiding challenges. This includes avoiding the things you know you need to do, like that extra effort or that extra hour at work. Another interesting point is that the human brain has great difficulty understanding the long-term compound effect. Let me give you an example. If you save $50 a month and invest it for 30 years, what you get is simply unbelievable. Thanks to compound interest, growth is not linear, but exponential. Over time, constant small efforts generate gigantic results. Unfortunately, the brain is not programmed to see this way. It tends to focus on the short term. How can I survive today? Or how can I get more resources now? This mindset was crucial to the survival of our ancestors, but today it limits us when we try to think about long-term goals. Now, the second thing you'll do is go into what people call cave mode. Do you know what that means? It's the equivalent of what Bruce Wayne did before he became Batman. For 90 days, you will strategically isolate yourself and establish 6 non-negotiable things. These 6 things should include at least 30 minutes a day of intense physical activity, be it weight training, cardio, or another form of movement. 2. Addition. Dedicate 10 minutes a day to something relaxing, such as meditation or reading. During this time, no alcohol, cigarettes, or any substance that interferes with your mental clarity. This process, called cave mode, won't relieve your anxiety immediately, but in the long run, it will be a turning point in your life. It's like building a solid foundation for your goals and preparing your mind to deal with challenges more efficiently. Finally, remember, the ability to stick to your plans, even when your mood doesn't help, is a superpower. This is what separates those who only dream from those who actually achieve. You know when you're playing a video game and you need to rest your character so that he can regain energy and stay strong. That's more or less what happens to you when you sleep well. Now, let me tell you a secret. Going to bed early is like pressing a magic button to get your body and mind ready to take on any challenge the next day. If you sleep very late, like after 1 a.m., and the sunlight starts coming into your room early, at 6 a.m., this affects the quality of your sleep. You know why? Our body has a very special helper called the pineal gland. It's the gland that produces melatonin, the sleep hormone that helps you get a good night's rest. But this gland is super sensitive to light, and any brightness can confuse it, as if someone were disturbing the magical rest. Now here's the cool part. I want to set you a challenge. For 90 days, choose 6 non-negotiable things. In other words, things that you will do every day without giving up. For example, going to bed early, turning off your cell phone an hour before bed, going for a walk, playing outside, or even reading a book. If you follow these 6 things correctly, something incredible will happen. You'll transform yourself in ways you can't even imagine right now. Step 3. Dressing up can completely change the way you feel. The way you choose your clothes can be a hidden superpower. I'm not talking about buying expensive clothes or wearing luxury brands. Not at all. What really matters is how you feel in them. Imagine that your clothes are like a hero's armor. They help you face any challenge of the day. Want to know an example that makes us think about this? Author Ryan Holiday, who has written about discipline and philosophy, talks about the Stoics and cynics of antiquity. The cynics were rebels who dressed any way they could to challenge the world, but the Stoics were strategists. They knew that in order to make an impact and change what they didn't like, they needed to appear well-adjusted to their environment. They played the game, but in their own way. And what does this have to do with you? Everything. When you choose to dress well, not to impress others, but to show your best side, something incredible happens. Your self-esteem grows. You feel you can go anywhere and face any situation. People around you also start to see you in a different light because they realize how much care you take of yourself. And don't think that just means wearing nice clothes. It can be as simple as taking care of your hair, keeping your face clean, or even wearing clothes that make you feel comfortable and want to smile. It's the little details that make all the difference. Now think about it. What would it be like to walk around feeling like you're showing the world the best version of yourself? Take a test and see how small adjustments can transform your day and even the way you see yourself. 4th things. That moment when you feel you need a fresh start. Time to leave behind what isn't working and focus on what really matters. This is the time to focus on something that can completely change your life. Activities that generate income and create transformation. Income-generating activities aren't just about making money. It's about building something that will make you unrecognizable in the coming months. Think of it like planting a tree. At first, it may seem like nothing happens, but with patience, care, and dedication, it grows and bears fruit you never imagined. The secret lies in something called delayed gratification, the ability to postpone immediate rewards in order to reap much greater results in the future. But how do you get started? The first step is to learn a difficult skill, something that solves people's real problems. Think with me, the world is full of challenges, and those who know how to solve them are always valued. For example, you can choose to solve the problems of many people who pay a small amount, but who together generate a large return. Or solve problems for a few people who are willing to pay a lot for more complex solutions. Either way, the focus is on creating something of value, something useful, something transformative. Now, I know that many people may turn up their noses and think, here comes someone talking about money again. But here's an important truth. Financial comfort isn't about luxury. It's about freedom. It's about having the peace of mind, of knowing that you can build a life with the choices you really want to make. And that doesn't just mean thinking about now, but about the impact your actions will have in 1, 5, or 10 years' time. If you decide to embark on this 90-day challenge, here's a tip that could be a game changer. Focus completely on an activity that has long-term value. Choose something that you really enjoy, but that is also useful to other people. It could be learning a new trade, developing a project, starting a small business, or even creating something totally unique. The most important thing is that it makes an impact. And you know what's most interesting? During this process, you not only improve your skills and increase your financial potential, but you also experience a personal transformation. You become more resilient, more focused, more confident. It's as if, at the end of these 90 days, you look back and hardly recognize the person who started this journey. Fifth step. Let's imagine that your life is like a big game and you're about to unlock an incredible new phase. And this phase begins with a mission to focus on your education, but in a different way than you might be used to. I'm talking about learning things that will really transform you. You don't have to sit in a classroom to do this. You can watch long videos, listen to audiobooks, or even explore content that makes you super curious. Do you want to know why this is so good? Because the more you learn, the more focused you become, and the less anxious you are. And you know what's even more incredible? All this will prepare you for great things in the future. It's an investment in yourself. But there's a secret here. Our brain is sometimes like that lazy friend who just wants to rest. It will try to convince you to put everything off until later, or to look for something that will bring you pleasure quickly, like spending hours on your cell phone or doing something just to escape boredom. This is because our brain seeks comfort all the time. But in order to win at the game of life, you need to think beyond that, in the long term. For example, if you start practicing writing and speaking about a subject you like, you'll notice how it helps you organize your thoughts better. It's as if you're building a new version of yourself, one that is more confident, creative, and prepared for anything. It could be writing in a notebook, talking to people around you, or even recording videos for yourself. And you know what's magical? Not only does it improve the way you communicate, but it also helps people understand you better. It's like unlocking a superpower. Back in the day, Marcus Aurelius, a great thinker, had an incredible strategy. He said to always think in the long term, imagining how our worries today will be nothing in thousands of years' time. This helps you stop taking everything so seriously and focus on what really matters, growing and evolving. So, here's the challenge. Choose 6 things you want to improve or learn and tell them to someone you trust, someone who will support you, but not be on your case all the time. Then dive into your cave mode. This means dedicating yourself to these goals for real, without telling everyone, and working in the shadows, like a hero training for his big battle. If you do this for 90 days, I guarantee you'll look in the mirror and barely recognize yourself. You'll feel stronger, smarter, more confident, totally unrecognizable. So how about starting now? This is the first step towards a fresh start. I promise the future that awaits you will be incredible.